And that's why I'm saying the World Cup's come at the wrong time for Arsenal. But let's say we go and win all 5 of them. Now we're still top. Now we go for a little blip, but we're still within a title race come May. I will celebrate, yeah, and I will celebrate, yeah, if we're consistently winning games, because I know that if we're consistently winning, we're staying top. If we're consistently winning and staying 4th, it's irrelevant, Terry.
So, mate, all of that, I understand your view on winning games and then not winning a trophy at the end of it is irrelevant. My question is, in your opinion, I just want a really straight answer. Forget Arsenal and how you feel. A fan of Chelsea, this weekend, if they win, should they be happy with the win and celebrate the win?
Who they got this weekend?
It doesn't matter because they're not winning the league. Because they're not going to win the league, are they, Chelsea? In your opinion?
Well, no, they shouldn't. They should be demanding the very best. This Chelsea Football Club, the most successful club in England for the last 20 years.
This is all I wanted to do. I wanted to actually get your point. So, because Chelsea are not going to win the league this year, they should celebrate no wins.
They haven't won the league for 6 years after this year.
Mate, that isn't my question. I need a straight answer. So if they win this weekend,
it's very no. That's a loaded question, Terry.
No, it's not. So Chelsea should be aiming to win the title. Yes.
They should be aiming to win the title. They're not going to win the title. So on that basis, they shouldn't be celebrating irrelevant wins against anyone in the league because they're not going to go and compete for the title. And they're the most successful club in England for the last 2 decades. Arsenal, on the other hand, should technically, because we're top, go and celebrate every win whilst we're top. As soon as we start falling off at top, as long as we're within top, but if we fall down to say we lose 3 in a row in January, say we lose to Everton, Newcastle, Tottenham all in a row, all of a sudden we're down to 4th or 5th, right? Let's say we're down to 4th, right? Now off of the back of that, now the tide turns because now we're not in a title race anymore if Man City keep winning. It's all like, listen, last season, our fans were sitting there lauding up every single win. And I was like, we're going to finish 3rd loser at best. Why are you lauding this up? This season's slightly different because we are top and we're setting the pace, right? So it's a loaded question. If you're not in a Forest, celebrate every win because it might keep you in the Premier League, which is their target. Arsenal's target is 4th. Sorry, that ain't my target. That ain't my target. We smashed a stadium down 17 years ago. This is the longest run in Arsenal's history without winning a league title, by the way. Right? So why am I celebrating?
No, mate, on a real level, Lee, I'm not asking for justification. I'm just trying to. I honestly was confused by your stance.
It depends, Terry. It depends what club you support. What
so let me talk. So let me ask you questions that get to the nitty gritty because I get your stance on Arsenal, and to be honest, on this particular point, I don't care about it. What I care about is by giving an example. So Chelsea was the example. And you've answered it, which is because they should be winning the league and they're not going to, they should celebrate no wins this season. Their fans shouldn't celebrate. Another question.
Shambles for about
I get that. Next question.
Very quick. Go on.
Next question. Man United this week. We're not winning the league this year, no?
No.
If we score against Fulham this weekend, should we celebrate the goal?
Well, your target's 4th, so yeah.
Okay, but we might not make 4th. So it's up in the air. We might not make 4th. So do we celebrate? You don't celebrate wins. Do you celebrate goals?
Your target should also be go for the title. And this is where it's subjective, Terry, because there were people in this chat going, "Oh, we don't know what we're talking about." No, mate. Man United are the biggest club in England. They should be competing for titles. They won a title for how long?
Lee, that's not the question. My point is this.
No, the question's loaded, Terry. And
it isn't loaded. It isn't loaded because you're saying that as a Man United fan, I shouldn't celebrate winning games if we're not
an irrelevant win.
Okay, so let me break it down even further. So if it's an irrelevant win that we shouldn't celebrate, okay, then scoring goals in that game is also therefore irrelevant. Yes. So therefore, so you don't. So your view is fans shouldn't celebrate. Let me finish talking. So what you're saying is that Man United shouldn't celebrate wins because they're not winning the league or achieving their goals. They shouldn't celebrate the goals in those games. Are fans allowed to clap a good tackle from a defender in a game? What, like
fans can do what you want. I couldn't care less.
I'm trying to understand your logic to what fans should do. So
your
logic states. No, I'm sorry, Lee. Your logic states that unless your team is winning the league, no element of the game or result should be celebrated, clapped, or enjoyed.
No. Wait. You're twisting my words here.
How am I? That's what you've said.
I said if you're not in Forest, clap, cheer, laugh.
I'm not talking Forest. I'm specifically talking Man United and Chelsea. Man United and Chelsea.
Man United and Chelsea.
What can we celebrate?
Shambles for the last few years, yeah. None of their fans should be cheering anything because they're in the mud. They're a shambles. The same with Arsenal. Yeah, this season's slightly different because Arsenal are setting the pace. So I get it, and there is progress there. I'll accept there's progress. There has been progress. We've been the best team to watch. We've got the best defense in the league along with Newcastle. And like you said, it looks sustainable at the minute. Me personally, I still have that nagging doubt in the back of my head because, like I said 5 minutes ago, I've seen my team be top in April and not win a league. I've seen my team be top in May and not win a league. Yeah. So for me, Arsenal, great 13 games, fantastic, brilliant, well done. Yeah. And I'm enjoying watching Arsenal because who knew? You buy better players, you get better performances. Not difficult, is it? Yeah. Which is why this club's been a shambles for the last two decades nearly, because we've been buying crap. This season, we put Saliba back in there, we put Jesus in there, and all of a sudden we look better. You buy better players, you get better rewards, right? But Terry, at the end of the day, if Arsenal don't win anything this season and we finish top 4, well, sorry, that's a failed season. And especially when our technical director has come out on the 25th of July this year and said it's time to compete for titles. So if we finish anything more than 6 points away from Man City, who probably will win the league, then that's a failed season. And we haven't competed.
And Lee, I completely understand all of that. The point is, though, until the end, you don't know what wins were and were not irrelevant. You don't know what goals that lead to wins are and are not irrelevant. You don't know what great tackles or great saves from goalkeepers that get claps and get cheers.
You can only go off a preview.
Hang on. Please let me finish. Like, you don't know what all these little moments in games that we celebrate and cheer as fans that lead to wins, that lead to points, lead to in the end. So where your logic falls down is that you have to celebrate and get behind your team and encourage your team and applaud them and actually enjoy the pro. Imagine going through the whole season and being completely deadpan and enjoying none of it until you win. If football fans did that, the sport would die, in my opinion.
Right? Can I just leave, because your words there just lead on to this comment from a guy called Tom Gardner in the chat. Does Lee know the fans' positive energy at games actually helps the team in the stadium? Absolute rubbish. Go and ask Real Madrid fans that, mate. Yeah, because Sergio Ramos come out and said fans booing us inspired us. Yeah, go and ask Madrid fans when they're waving the handkerchiefs, the white handkerchiefs, when they lost to Sheriff. Yeah, they then won the Champions League last season.
Hang on a minute. I've also watched. Hang on, Lee. But I've also watched those Real Madrid fans cheer goals and cheer wins in seasons where they didn't win the league.
Yeah, Terry, they're one of the most successful clubs on the planet. But my point is what he said. Oh, fans jeering them and being negative, absolute rubbish. Go and have a look at some of the clubs around the world. Real Madrid and Barcelona fans are savage.
I know they are, but Lee, I agree with you. Hang on, Lee. We're crossing conversations here. No one is suggesting that at times fans shouldn't boo and put pressure on their players. I agree with you. Your point is different. Those same Real Madrid fans, if they're booing and jeering, or then Barca fans are booing and jeering, and then the team goes and wins, they celebrate, irrespective of whether they win a trophy on the final day of the season. I want to go to some super chats, though, that have come in. I don't want to miss all of these. This one here says, if we are not in the title race, we should just stop watching football for the rest of the season because we aren't going to celebrate anyway.
Or about actually raise the standards. Use your social media accounts between all Arsenal fans, all ex-players. I said this to Kevin Campbell last night. He said he was going to do it. Yeah. And journalists and all these other outlets out there, if everyone comes together now, when the World Cup's on and starts tweeting out, Instagramming out, TikToking out, and all these other platforms and saying, actually, Arsenal needs to go and spend some money to stay in a title race. Let's be real here, Terry. Can Arsenal go 17 straight wins in the Premier League? We don't know.
No, so again, so Lee, so that point is right. Like, the thing is, you make your point about celebrating is wrong.
To go and compete for a title,
Lee, but that point there is right. You do need to demand your club goes and does that. But
that doesn't our fans won't, and that's my point.
That's got nothing to do with the fans celebrating a win. They're completely irrelevant to each other.
Let me just say one more thing before we move on, because
irrelevant.
Right, let me just say one more thing. If the fans are happy finishing fourth and the target is fourth, top 4, they're not going to sit there all through this World Cup demanding Arsenal to go and spend money to get us in a title.
I agree with that, Lee. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
No, because if you let me finish, Arsenal are top of the table for a reason. We've been the best team. So our fans are sitting there laughing at Tottenham and Man United at the weekend because they both lost. They're crap. Oh, and Chelsea lost. We beat Chelsea. Cool. So if we don't win the league, why are you laughing?
I understand. Listen,
Why are you laughing? Because you're laughing at Tottenham and Man United and Chelsea, right?
So now,
so again, might finish in the same top four that we finish it. So why are you laughing?
So hang on. So what you're also saying is we can't, unless your team's winning the league, you can't banter anyone.
Our team should be winning the league, Terry. So should yours. So should Chelsea. We should all be in a title race.
You're right. I get your logic.
Come on.
Hang on though. Where your logic is flawed. I understand your logic, but it's flawed because we can't all win the league every year. So based on your logic,
we'll compete then.
So if you're competing for the title, you can banter. If you're not, you can't.
Fact. Why are you bantering a team that are competing when you win?
Simple answer. I get it now. Let's go to this super chat here that says agree. I disagree with it, but I get it.